In this session, we are going to discuss about EIGRP. So this is nothing but one of the important experiment for data transfer. So EIGRP stands for Enhanced Interior Gateway Routing Protocol. So we are going to do this experiment using our Cisco packet tracer. So for this, we are in need of the components like the end devices, switches, as well as gateway. So with this basic component, we are going to connect the two different network where we are going to transfer the data from one network to the other network. So the components are, so first let me take the component router. So in this router, I'm going to take the generic router. Since I'm going to connect to two different network, so I've taken router PT with the router name of 0. The next router is nothing but router 1. Next, I'm moving on to the switches. I'll be taking a generic. So I've taken the generic components. Then I'll be taking the end devices. So I'll take two end devices under every network. Right. So here I've defined the two different networks. Okay. So now we have to give a labeling for every system. So let me give a name for every system. So go for the labeling for every system. So I'll be considering this as one network. So let me take the IP address for this PC0 as 100.10.10.1. Okay, so I'm just taking this and I'll go for the PC1, and for PC1 I'll give it as 2, and for this router I'm going to take it as a default gateway. So for this let me take it as 10.3, and this side the network address I'm going to consider as 0. So this network we'll be going to call it as a 100.10.10.0 as the network address, and the system 1 PC0 with the IP address 10.1 and PC1 with the 10.2, and this router respective IP address, that is the default gateway address, we're going to consider as 100.10.10.3. In the same way, we are going to give an address for to this side. So let me give the address as 200.10.10.1. So for PC3, address 2, and for the router side, I'll take this default address as 3, and this side network I'm going to call it as a 0. That's all. So we have given a number for everything, and similarly for this two router, we need to give the addresses. So for this, I'm going to give it as now 150.15.15 dot network address 0, and this respective IP address, that is from the router connections between the two. So from router 0, I'm going to consider the IP address as 150.15.15.1, 1, and the same way I'm going to consider this side for router 1 as 2. So now I've given the label for every devices. Now let me go for the connections. So connecting PC1 to switch, sorry, PC0 to switch, and then PC1 to switch, from switch to router. In the same way, PC2 to the switch, PC3 to the switch, and then switch to the router, and the connection between these two devices. So this side, the network address is nothing but 150.15.15.0, and if I start a connections from router 0 to router 1, the IP address is nothing but 150.15.15.1, and this side it is nothing but 15.15. Sorry, 150.15.15.2. Okay. So now we are going to go for the IP configurations now. So first I'll press this PC desktop IP. So what is the address this time we have taken? 100.10.10. And this PC0 IP address is nothing but dot 1. Okay, I'm just copying this. default gateway, sorry, subnet mask, and the default gateway we are considered as 3. Because this side we have the default gateway address of the router IP address accessor. Because through this route only we're going to have the data transmission. So we're going to consider this router IP address as a default gateway for this side communications. In the same way for PC1 desktop IP configuration, this is system 2 default mask, and the default gateway as 3. So similar in this side. So here we have 200.10.10.1. I'll just copy this. Default separate mask and default gateway is nothing but 3. Now for the PC3 IP configuration, this is system 2 separate mask, and the default gateway through the router to this router address of this 10.3. Right, now we have given the IP address for these things. Now we need to do the configurations for router 0 and for router 1 separately. I will press this. So the connections from the router 0 to the switch is nothing but the fast Ethernet connection, and the connection between the two routers is nothing but the serial connections. So we are going to give an IP address for this fast Ethernet, for this serial, and then the this router which is connected to the two different networks. So three things we are going to give information under this CLI command. So now go for CLI command, which is nothing but command interface. So here we have the configuration like yes or no. Just press as no. Press one enter. Now we are going to start our process. So en, which is nothing but enable. Then I'm going to type configuration terminal. Right. So now we are going to first start with the interface. So first we're going to talk about this fast Ethernet connection between the router and the switch. And for this fast Ethernet, what is the given IP address? 100.10.10.3. So that is what I'm going to give now here. So 100 dot, sorry, this is nothing but an IP address. So just type IP address. What is the address? 100 dot 10 dot 10 dot. What is this default gateway IP address? It's nothing but 3. And the subnet mask 255.0.0.0. Enter. I think some mistake I made. Let me check it up. Invalid input detected at the mark. Okay, let me check. So IP address 100.10.10.3 space 255.0.0.0. So I need to check some error is there in my command. Let me check up. So router configuration terminal. So invalid input detected at the respective marker. So yes, the mistake what I did is I didn't just call for my interface. So interface, we are going to type information for the fast Ethernet. So FA0/0. Sorry for the interruption. Yes. So now I'm going to call my IP address. IP address 100.10.10.3. The subnet mask, inverse subnet mask we given here. Oh God! Again, I got the same error over here. Uh, I made a spelling mistake. Interface FA0/0. Right, now I got the command correctly. Now IP address 100.10.10.3 space with the subnet mask. Now I got it. That's all. Now we entered what is this respective. Then press no, type no shuts. It is not to close this, and then press type exits. So we have completed the process for fast in that is Right. So now we have completed the process for this now. Okay. And similarly, we are going to type for the serial command. So just press again, type interface SE2/0. And what is the respective IP address? So for this, the respective IP address is nothing but, and for this, the respective IP address for serial connection. What is the serial connection? This side. So what is this IP address? 150, right? So 150.15.15.1 within subnet mask. Enter. I didn't leave a space. Oh God, I made plenty of mistakes over here. I'm very sorry for this. Yes, IP space. I think by making mistake only we can learn many things, right? So IP space address 150.15.15. This side is something but 1, and the subnet mask. Yes, now we got it. And we need to press type what is the clock rate for the data transmission. So clock rate 64,000. Such press exits. We're coming out of this inside configurations. So now, so first we have given the fast Ethernet with the respective IP address. Second thing, the serial connections with the respective IP address. Now we are going to say to the router that what are the network are being connected between this side of the router and that side of the router. So this side we have 100.10.10.0, and this side we have 150.15.15.0. So we are just going to say that, and now we are going to call the respective router as. So we are going to call the router. And what is the protocol? Well, we are going to use EIGRP and some numerical number. I'll just give it as a 6. And now we are going to say what are the network are being connected to the router 0. So network. So this side I have this 100. So 100.10.10.0 space and the respective subnet mask. Enter. Next to the second network, that is in the serial connection, we have this 150.15.15.0. So 115.15.15.0 space 255.0.0.0. Right. Now we are going to exit 2 times. Exits, exits. Right. So now just type it, copy space running hyphen config space startup hyphen config. Take the spelling mistake, copy space running hyphen config space startup hyphen config. Destination's file name is a startup config. Yes or no, they're asking. Yes, now we got it. So now we have finished the interfacing configuration connections on the router 0 side. Now we are going to do the same process on the router 1 side also. So again, CLI, right? No, press enter, enable config T, inter interface FA. First we're going to do 0/0. So what is this side FA we have? This side is nothing but this 200 series. So IP address 200.10.10.3 space subnet mask. Now no shut, no shut, enter, exits. Now this has been enabled now. Now we are going for serial connection interface SE2/0. And what is the respective IP address? What is the IP address of this serial connection we have given here? That's 150.15.15.2 we have given now. Space 150.15.15.2 subnet mask. Right. And since this is a serial connection, we need to give the clock rate for data transmission. Clock rate 64,000. Yes. Now no shut and then exit. So we are finished the fast Ethernet side as well as the serial internet side. Now we need to call our protocol. Router EIGRP. Something is missing. Yes. Router EIGRP and the respective numerical number. Right. Now I'm going to say what are the network are being connected to the router one side. What are the networks? So this is 200.10.10.0 as well as this 150.15.15.0 network are being connected to router 1. So let me define one by one. So first we'll define this 200.10.10.0 space the mask address. Similarly, the network above side that is 150.15.15.0 subnet mask. Sorry, yes, 0.0. Yeah. Yes, because what did it say this? Because we typed in this router 0 also with the same IP address and this router 1 also with the same network address. So it is saying that the adjacency also is with the same, right? Now press 2 times exits. Now again the same command copy space running hyphen config space startup hyphen config. A question mark? Yes, it's okay. That's all. We typed all the comments. Now, see now all the links have been in green color, so everything is ready now. Now we can place the data. So when I place the data for the first time, it will get failed because it is just going to initialize all the networks. So you can see here, yes, now it shows as a failed. Now if we can try the second time, we may get the successful. Let me check. Yes. So we have completed the data transfer. Then we'll check out this in the because now I've shown the output in terms of real time. Now I'll show this same process in simulation part, right? So I'll just delete the previous. Now I'll place the data one more time over here, between here and here. Right. Now we'll start the process. So from PC0, the data has been transferred to switch, and from switch, the data has been transferred to router 0. Now from router 0, the data will be transferred to router 1. So from router 1, it has been transferred to switch. And now from switch, the data has been delivered to both PC2 and PC3. But I didn't transfer the data to PC2, so it is discarding. And PC3 is the right destination, so it is accepting the data and sending back the acknowledgements to the respective source address. So again, it will take the same route. Yes, so this is how we have done our process. Okay, so this is about the enhanced interior gateway routing protocol. In short, we'll be calling as EIGRP. So now it is going to finish off. So the switches will deliver the data to all, but here the intended source is nothing but my PC 0, right? Right. So with this, we are ending to the session. Thank you.